All right, ladies, welcome, welcome. I am beyond thrilled that you're here for this powerful presentation. Speak it, write it, live it. And if you're ready to step boldly into your calling, clarify your message, and package your expertise into a book, a brand, or a platform that transform lives, you are in the right place. I'm so excited. I'm in the Caribbean right now. So it's just amazing. I am
Jealous.
getting into the nice, warm Caribbean heat, right? So maybe just drop in the chat where you join us from right now. Maybe I'd love to just see, where you join us from. I'd love to know, but I'm excited. I'm in the Caribbean. I'm in Barbados, of course. This is one of my homes, and I'm so excited to be here. So you can probably drop in the chat. Let me know where are you joining. I see New Jersey in the house. Lovely. New Jersey's in the house. We have Lawrenceville, Georgia. Lovely, lovely. Tampa, Florida. So somebody else is getting some nice warmth today. Atlanta, Georgia. Lovely. Yes, I'm so happy. Faye's in Atlanta. Faye, I live in Atlanta, but I'm out here in the Caribbean right now. I'm so excited. So I'm so excited you're here. Like I said, if you're ready to step bold into your calling. If want to clarify your message, package your expertise into a book, a brand, a platform, to you, and your goal is to transform lives, and you're in the right place. So let's say a prayer and then we're going to get cracking, right? Father, we thank you so much for this opportunity that we have as your daughters from across the globe to just connect, to be empowered, so we can live the life that you have destined for us. Bless our time together. We pray for your Holy Spirit to guide everything that happens as we spend this time together. I pray in your name. Amen. And so I'm so excited, ladies. I'm Dr. Nadine, and I've dedicated my life to helping faith-based women just like you to unlock their divine purpose, build their authority as speakers and authors, and create platforms that make a global impact. And so before we dive in, I want to tell you this. You want to be able to get your pen. I have my pen right here. You can grab a pen, a notebook, and a heart that's ready for revelation, right? Because today we're going to be shifting your mindset, your mission, and your message. And so, if you're ready to take your voice, your story, and you're calling to the next level, drop a yes in the chat for me. Drop a yes in the chat for me. And I'm also going to share my screen at this time so that you can see thumbs up if you're seeing my screen. Yeah, full
Yeah.
screen. Awesome. And so I just want to say to you, ladies, I want to know who's ready. Actually, let me just check the chat one time. Let's see. Yes, we have yeses and yeses. Good job, ladies. I'm excited about that. So today we're talking about speak it, write it, live it, right? Now, when we look at, I'm going to just go here so I could literally control the screen. I believe I'm going this side. Yes. All right. Now, I want to talk to us a little bit about speak it, because your voice is your power. Your voice is your power. And in Proverbs 18:21, the Bible reminds us that death and life lies in the power of your tongue. Death and life lies in the power of your tongue. But I want to ask you a question. Are you using your voice to speak life over yourself, your business, or your impact? That's a serious question. Now, I'm actually here doing this, but I want to be able to navigate in case anybody's trying to come in as well at the same time. My assistant is not here. But the question is, are you using your voice to speak life over yourself, over your business, over your impact? Because so many of us as women, we have a story, we have an experience, we have a God-given message that's meant to uplift, inspire, and transform others. But then we have fear and doubt, and sometimes not knowing where to start. And all of these things sometimes keep us silent. So there's a truth I want to share with you today. And that truth is this, right? If God gave you a voice, then he also gave you an audience. So if God gave you a voice, he also gave you an audience. So what if I told you, for example, that your voice is key And think about key in capital letters. Your voice is key to unlocking opportunities, to unlock doors and divine connections. And that's exactly, for example, how I built a speaking platform reaching women all across the world. And it was by boldly speaking what God placed in my heart. And so remember, I told you earlier on to grab your pen and paper, right? And of course, our hearts are open to receive. I want you right now to actually, we're going to be engaging all of our senses. I want you to write down, my voice is my platform. So I want you to write down, my voice is my platform, my words create my future. And the reason why I'm asking us to write it down, it's because the Bible talks about writing a vision. The Bible talks a lot about, that kind of thing, make that vision clear. And sometimes when we write things down, it helps us to kind of, think about the thing in a more tangible way. And that's the reason why I want us to engage our senses by writing this down right now. My voice is my platform. My words create my future. And as we're writing that down, I want us to see how can we practically activate our mindset as we're speaking about speak it, because we're going to go into 3 segments today: speak it, write it, live it. But as we're speaking about speak it, my voice is my platform, my words create my future. How can that be practical in your life? And so in one sentence, I want you to share what is the one thing God has called you to speak about, or the one thing you think that God has called you to speak about, and drop that in the chat, because I would really love to see what's happening here with you ladies in the room. What is the one thing God has called you to speak about? And if you're not absolutely sure, what is the one thing you think you've been called to speak about? In one sentence, write that there. I'm going to go to the chat, just see what's happening here in the chat. See if I can get to connect with you ladies on that. What is the one thing? All right. Okay, somebody says covenant marriage. The name is not clear because it's like Aine. I see Dana, sexual purity and my testimony. Great stuff, great stuff. All right, okay, lovely, lovely. Yes, so I see we have some womanhood. What about womanhood? Because womanhood is very broad. What about womanhood do you think he's calling to speak about? Yes, the other ladies, you can drop here. What is that one thing you think that God has called you to speak about? Recovery from relational trauma. Okay, I like that. I see show others how to navigate the path to secure financial future. Yes, all right. And women, we need that a lot. I see depression there. I see another not giving up God's protection. Can you probably expand a little bit about on that? Like how do you craft a message around that and stuff? I can see, okay, yes, we need God's protection, but I'd like to know just a little more about what that looks like. But ladies, thank you so much for sharing. That's powerful stuff right there. I love it. So the keys, for example, ladies, to speaking powerfully is clarity. I usually talk about clarity, confidence, and connection. But one of the things that we added to it was consistency. Because as I look at the work of my clients, the ones who are actually excelling the most are the ones who are consistent online with their message. The ones who are consistent, for example, who came into the book program and who are consistently sharing that same message. So first, of course, having clarity, which is really what you just answered there, what you think he's going to speak about. Having confidence, for example, to speak that thing. Having the ability to connect with individuals who need your message, and being consistent in how you show up online, consistent in your message, consistent in your belief in yourself, consistent in your belief in the call that God has on your life. All of these things are really important. So that's why I teach, for example, my clients how to craft a signature message that will probably attract the right audience, because your message is not for everybody. And so when it is you have clarity, for example, on what that message is, you can attract the right audience and open paid speaking opportunities, coaching opportunities, and even receive publishing opportunities, meaning that you can actually publish books around your speaking topic, messages that align, everything is aligning. And that's why, for example, I created the Wow Speaker Academy. And maybe I'll share a little bit about it here, where we actually help faith-based women like you to turn your message into a movement, right? And so we really want to help Christian women to really step into what God has called them to do. And so we, for example, combining the speaker mentorship program with the publishing program. And that's one of the key areas that I've seen like really work, is seeing clients, like a lot of my clients who were in the speaker program, and then we worked on their books, and their books were aligned with their message. I see that opening more doors than just, just if you have a speaking platform, it's amazing. You need to stick to your message, be consistent with your message. If you have a book, most likely what I always encourage my clients to do, and that's why I worked with all of them in the same way, is ensuring that your book message is aligned with your speaking message, because it assures you, for example, when you walk on stage, when you finish speaking, and individuals are excited, they're blessed, they're being activated, they're being inspired, impacted, they want more, and then they can leave with a little more of you when they leave with the book. So I always encourage my clients to be consistent with the message, your speaking message and your written message. And so when we're talking about speak it, it's about having that clarity, that confidence, that consistency, that all of that good stuff to ensure that your message is reaching the people that it needs to be reached. And that's really important here. So now we talk about speak it. Let's talk about writing it, because in the Bible, in Revelation 1:19, it says, write therefore what you have seen, what is now, and what will take place later. So we've been given this beautiful mandate to just write, okay? Another text talks about writing the vision and making it plain. There is so much, so for example, there's a lot of research around writing and the importance of it. For example, if you want to remember something, most likely you might want to write it down, whether on paper or even on a note in your phone. But there's something about the mind that connects when we write. So for example, even though I may not always touch my to-do list on my notes on my phone, back in the day, I used to use my notebooks to do my to-do list, and I still don't mind doing that, because when you write it out, there's something about it. You write a list when you go to the supermarket, and sometimes you may not open the list, but because you wrote it down while you're in the aisles, you're remembering everything you're writing down. So there's power in that. And so your book is your legacy. That's why you need to write it. Because not only are you writing, for example, like with a grocery list for you to remember, you're writing it as a roadmap for other people. You're writing it to help other people succeed. And so the Bible gives us that, because every single one of us have a book inside of us. That's the truth. Every single one of us have a book inside of us, your testimony, your lessons, your wisdom. And so all of these books on the side there are just like some of my client covers. And each of these women, when they came to me, didn't know that there was a book inside of them. Most of them actually worked with me, with the exception of three actually in my speaker mentorship program. And we have so many others of them. But none of them knew when they came into the speaker program that there was a book inside of them. I remember the book on the Total Right, Top Right, Beverly Bodley, Never Give Up on You. When she came into the speaker program, I told her, by the time you're done with the speaker program, you're going to have content for a book. And she thought that was like just crazy. But 6 months later, I attended her book launch, because there was the book inside of her. And so the reason why sometimes we don't recognize there's a book inside of us, it's like you might feel the call, but you keep putting it off. And the question is why? And the why might be related to you thinking, well, I'm not a writer. I've never been a writer. I don't know how. All my clients can testify. Some of them were never into anything writing. And I remember one of them saying that the writing was so cathartic for her. It was like healing for her. We worked on her second book already. And just yesterday, she texted me saying, as soon as she's done with her master's program, she's coming back to do number 3. So sometimes you keep putting it off. Sometimes you don't know where to start, but you can get help. That's not a reason for you not to do it. If you don't know where to start, then you get the right help. And sometimes you're not sure if you qualify to write, which is what I meant. What helps us sometimes to put it off, And so we're not sure sometimes if we're qualified to write because we discount ourselves. And I've never been an English major, I've not been into literature, and we give ourselves all of the excuses about why it is you think are you disqualified to write. And here's what I tell my authors all the time. I say, listen, every time they feel like, I remember one of my clients saying, well, I don't think I have any more words to write. I tell you, you have like thousands of words inside of you, thousands of words, not just like what you think you have, but you have words. We've been interacting in life for way too long not to have words with all of the experiences that you have and so on. So I tell my authors that your book is not about you. It's about the people who need it. Because so many times we're thinking that the book is about us. No, you've been through the experience. You have the exposure. You have the knowledge and all of that good stuff so that others can benefit from it. It's not about you. It's about them. Because right now there's somebody out there who's looking for a solution to a problem, who's trying to solve an equation in their life, who's trying to have a deep understanding of why am I going through this? And they don't know how to do it. And they're wishing that you would actually be sharing your story, your message, your lessons as their roadmap to be able to navigate their challenge. So it's never about you. It's about the people who need it. And so I want to ask you a question, right? And my question to you is this. If you could leave one book behind, what would it be about? Drop that in the chat. I want to see what you have to say. If you could leave one book behind, what would it be about? All right. Abigail Foster said prayer. Someone said surviving divorce. Yes. Come on now, share, ladies. What would it be about? Thanks for sharing. What would that book be about? Because there is a secret, and I'm still waiting to see the rest of the books. And the secret is you need a structured step-by-step system to take your idea and turn it into a book that sells. And that secret is out, but many people don't even pay attention to it because they're just so discounting themselves, right? And so if you have a structured step-by-step system that takes you from an idea to a book in hand, which is really what I love to do with my clients, because I've helped women go from, I don't know where to begin. Sometimes if I don't even know what I want to write about, but I believe God is coming to write a book, to becoming best-selling authors, world-class publishers, and so on, right? Because if you're serious about getting your book done, maybe I'll share something shortly with you. But the truth is, if you have a structured step-by-step system where we can work on, for example, what is the idea that I have, and just bringing that idea to life, bringing that idea into the hands of your readers, then that's actually the best way to ensure that you actually leave the book behind. I'm seeing more responses here in the chat. I see single-handedly raising a child with a disability. I see teaching girls the essence of becoming a phenomenal woman. Okay. Let's see other responses here. I'm seeing some of them. So it's not about you, married, separated, and back. How to enjoy for better or worse. Okay, how to enjoy for better or worse. I see here also surviving a toxic and unhealthy relationship. Yes, mama. Yes, yes, yes. I tell you, God has given me a book to write in that area. Ooh, I'm scared to write it. I shared it with my clients and they were like, you need to drop that tomorrow. Whew, that's big right there. I see how to eliminate negative thoughts and trust God more. And so, ladies, I really appreciate you sharing. Wow, these are like amazing books that needs to be out already. And so let's talk about we spoke about your book being your legacy, right? We spoke about that. Now we want to talk about living it. And there's a reason why we want to talk about living it. And that is because speaking and writing are powerful. Both of these are powerful. Amazing way for you to impact lives, change lives, and so on. So these are powerful, but they mean nothing if you're not living out your purpose, if you're not living out what God has called you to do. This is so serious that I'm highlighting it again. Speaking and writing are powerful, but they're nothing if you're not aligned with your divine purpose, if you're not living out what God has called you to do. That's really important. Because some people might speak and write because of opportunities. But what you're speaking about and what you're writing about, is it aligned with what it is you're called to do? This is a serious question. And hence the reason why, for example, in my programs, I really focus on purpose, because we want to make sure that our speaking is aligned with purpose. We want to make sure our writing is aligned with our purpose as well. And you're not just doing a thing just because. And so we're talking about living it. Speaking it, writing it, living it. And that's living out that purpose of yours. Because the truth is that your platform is more than a book or a stage. It's a calling. If you want to have an impact in the world, your platform is more than a book or a stage. It's a calling. You are not just an author or speaker. In fact, one of the things that came to me this week as I was preparing for this webinar is that you are called to be a movement. Our lives are supposed to just create change. Most recently, I had this amazing experience where I did a week of prayer at a junior academy. And I was able to train these young women that you're seeing there, and even younger ones. The school has kids from 5 to 13, and train them to become WOW prayer ambassadors. And it was such a humbling experience to have kids 5 years old praying for me. It was like, oh my goodness, because we're meant to be a movement. That's why we need to be focused on our purpose. When we're focused on our purpose, it will align us to creating moves, not just where we start, but where God's taking us. And so God has called me to really focus on prayer and to work with women and so on, uncovering their purpose. And now he's bringing it to the kids. And so we're called to be a movement. Wherever we go, we create change, we impact lives, we inspire, we elevate. And that's the reason why we're talking about the living it part. The living it part is so important, just as important as speaking and writing is living out your divine purpose and understanding that you are a movement. When I was typing out this, I was writing, you're called to be a movement. But I had, you are a movement, which is really what I believe. You are a movement. You're called to be a movement. Okay. And so that's what it is for us. And so I want to ask you another question. I love asking questions because we're here to learn, right? And the question is just so I can know a little more about you as we go along is, what is one bold step that you can take today to walk in your calling? Drop that in the chat. What is one bold step that you can take today to walk in your calling, or to ensure that you uncover your calling, to make sure that you're living in your calling? What is one bold step that you can take? Chat time. And as I wait for your responses, I just want to say that, sometimes we need mentorship, we need community, we need accountability sometimes to accelerate. When I started working with women over a decade ago, I used to work with them one-on-one. When the pandemic happened in 2020, I began to work with groups. At first, I thought the women would have been averse to being able to expose themselves. I realized, whoa, it was the most beautiful experience to see women in a community having accountability and support while they receive my mentorship. And so sometimes when we want to walk in our call, it's really about ensuring that we're in the right space, in the right community, that we are accountable, especially to have our journey accelerated. Because when you see other women doing it, it sometimes pushes you to go as well. And so let me just see here. I love it. I am seeing stuff here. Okay. So one of the big steps here is to pray and take action. Okay. Another person said, just start, flaws and imperfections. Yes, ma'am. sign up and take this step. Okay. Being on this session. All right. One person says one bold step is not allowing limiting beliefs and negative mindset to hinder me from moving forward. Also, I must continue to pray and seek God's guidance. All right. I see here somebody else saying focus, and ask God to give you the power to move forward. All right. Another saying, making up my mind to begin. These are all amazing. And these are all the reasons why sometimes women do not take action. That's exactly why, for example, I created the Speak It, Write It, Live It program, which will be an exclusive program where I just personally, help women, mentor women to become paid speakers, published authors, and purpose-driven leaders. Because ladies, we all have a call in our lives. We all have a work to do. And if you look at everything that's going on in the world, if there ever was a time for us to take action, the time is now. The time is now to use your voice to speak, now to use your voice to help others take action in their lives. Because as you take action in your life, you're inspiring and empowering other women to do the same thing. Mariam Williamson said something like that. So when we let our light shine, we give others permission to do the same. When you let your light shine, when you take steps of faith, when you begin to walk in your divine purpose, when you begin to speak it and write it, you are actually giving other people permission because there are people looking at you. And as you take action, you're going to have a ripple effect. They're going to take action. They're going to believe, if you can do this, I can do it too. If you could navigate all of these different areas that you ladies have shared about, that one thing that you may talk about or that one book that you may write, you are helping thousands, possibly millions of others to be able to stand in a particular area, in a space, deal with a particular issue, navigate successfully a situation that they could otherwise not do without your help. And so if you're ready to write and publish your book, I am a action taker, okay? If you're ready to write your book and you're like, I want to be on a clock, we want 3 months, 6 months, I want to get this book out. I have a few spots in my Wow Author Academy. We want to work with women to help them to become published authors as soon as possible, not tomorrow. Because if you're ready to take the next step, these two opportunities are here on the table, right? If you're ready to write and publish your book, I want to open the spots. And in that program, I will actually help you to go from book idea to book title, to the development of your book cover, to the writing the outline of your book. As you work on the book, we're going to work on everything. So we do the full publishing blueprint, give coaching, and we do the done with you book plan, where we go from a book idea or the desire for the book to you having your finished product. Okay. We also have the Speaker Accelerator program where we want to package your message into a signature talk. And we want you to be able to be launched out into that. Clients who have gone through the speaker program, some of them became coaches themselves. Most of them in a specific cohort, I believe it was 2020 cohort, we had 8 out of 10 of these ladies becoming published authors and stuff like that. And so we designed the Wow Speaker and Author Academy because the goal is to help women do it not next year or the year after, like this year. If you're serious, we want to make sure that you get that rolling real quick. And for those who really take action today, what we want to do is to have that one-on-one strategy call with me, give you exclusive access to the publishing roadmap. And by the way, we still hold your hand throughout the process as you go ahead and write your book, because we do not want you to just come and get your book idea and you're on your own. No, we give full support from start to finish so that this book can be done. And of course, you have lifetime access to our Wow community. And so I want to drop a link here, but I need to grab it. So I'll probably stop sharing my screen a little while, because I really want to grab that link and drop in the chat for you, because we want you to click on that link and book that call if that's your desire to really jump into that space in, like, you want to be able to say in the next 6 months, actually 3 months, you can say, I want to launch my speaking platform, or I want to write my book in the next 6 months. I want to make sure that by the time September, October hits, I'm launching my book. And if you're serious about that, then we want to be able to get you there. All right. And so I'm going to drop that in the chat for you in a little bit. But as I do that, I want you to click on that chat and so on. We're going to create a few spots to just help women get into that space. And you tell me, what's your biggest takeaway today? What is your biggest takeaway today? Drop it in the chat. And if you're ready to move forward, put in the chat, I'm ready. Drop that in the chat for me. Let me get that link. I'm going to drop that link for you in the chat. But tell me about your biggest takeaway in the chat. I'm looking forward to that. And also tell me if you're ready. If you're ready, say, I'm ready. I'm excited to see who's ready. Yes, Emily, that's powerful. Yes. You need to know your purpose even as Ira. And the thing is, we really kind of want to discover what that is even before we get in there, because we want to make sure that the book is aligned with that call on your life. We want to make sure that the book is aligned. It is all possible, somebody says, and I am ready. Somebody else says, biggest takeaway, aligning, writing, and speaking with purpose. Yes. Somebody says, you are called to be a movement. Yes. Somebody else says, shining your light empowers others to do the same. These are all powerful, powerful takeaways. Really powerful takeaways and very important takeaways as well. And so in the chat, I dropped the link. All right, somebody else's takeaway. Your book is not about you, it's about others you can help. Yes. So in the chat, I've dropped a link, right? And if you believe that you have that message, that you're ready to share your message, that you're ready to take action, I want you to book that call, right? Book that call. We can have a 30-minute conversation. Let's talk about whether you get into the speaker program, if you get into the book program, or if you do a combo. Let me do the book. The one client of mine did the opposite way, where she came into the book program. But when she saw how her other colleagues had accelerated, she was like, oh, I should have probably done the speaker program first. That's what she thought, because she wanted to get that book done. But if you believe it's a time for you to speak, then we want to do that, because I believe in you. I believe in the message God has placed inside of you. And I believe now is your time. You cannot sit on your calling. You cannot afford to sit on your calling. And that's why you need to speak it. You need to write it. You need to leave it. You see? I believe I'll see many of you inside the program, because it's time for us to build your God-given platform together. It's time for you to speak it, to write it, to live it, because God has that call on your life. The world is waiting for your words. You cannot afford not to be using your words, whether you're speaking it, you're writing it, and living it out. Okay, I saw another takeaway is that God gave you a voice and an audience. God gave you a voice. Right. That's that slide where we said, if God gave you a voice, he gave you an audience. Another takeaway is the book is not about me or my story. It's about others. Yes. And so these are great takeaways, ladies. I am so excited. I'll stop sharing right now so that I can see you. All right. I'm so excited that you came on today. I'm so excited that you were so willing to share, of yourself, of your thoughts. And we have the link there. So if you are ready to take action, click on that link. Okay, click on that link and let's get you started. And before we go, anybody want to ask any questions? You want to say something? I mean, I already got your takeaways and I'm excited about that. But I'm so excited that you ladies came on. I'm so excited that you shared so willingly. And I look forward to seeing some of you on my calendar, because I know that right on this call, we have speakers, we have writers, we have women who want to use God to use them, women who want to use their platforms, to use their lives to really inspire others. Yes. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here. Yeah. So God bless you, ladies. Grab that link. We are here. All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thanks for being here. All right. You're welcome. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, ladies. Bye-bye.